I've got something a little bit different for you today. I want to talk about handle path and how it differs from driver to iron. I'm going to slow-mo some swings down, really get to the underbelly of this vital component that's going to see you hitting the fairway and busting it onto that green. Next time you're out on the golf course, let's get to it. I would like to introduce you to my good friend Sumi. Sumi came in and saw me this morning and we worked on her handle path and how she wanted to stabilize her strike. Very high on the club face, a little bit of a fat strike, and really battled with a bit of a pull. So we got set on her handle path, really changing the pressures through the handle. Now, between the driver and the iron, there are two very different sensations. The driver has an angle of attack that's positive, an angle of attack that down in the bottom left-hand corner, your angle of attack wants to be more positive. So the angle of attack is striking up. When you're hitting an iron shot, you want an angle of attack that is more down because you're looking to compress the golf ball. Now, those two sensations for a lot of golfers will be very confusing. How can you have a handle that goes downwards and yet still create an angle of attack up? So if I push the handle down, which is very akin to what I might want to feel with an iron, because down and striking down go together. How can we make the handle go down and yet still create an angle of attack that goes up? So there's the pressure down and there is the angle of attack or the club head rising. So when we start to think about where this handle travels in space, it's really going to give us an opportunity to think about what the reaction of that handle track is going to do for the club head. First things first, I want to get you up out your seat, grab yourself a golf club and put the club out in front of you. In this instance, I've got my trusty chair. So I'm now going to make some swings where I keep the club head above the stool. And as I keep the club head above the stool, I want you to think about hitting the stool as hitting the ground. Now, if you were going to hit the stool, the opportunity, because the club head is raised up, all of a sudden hitting down is no longer an issue. Because the club head's in the air, you can throw the head to the ground. You've got all of this space back here. But of course, if we do that with a golf shot and we throw the head to the ground, all of a sudden the reaction is that we're going to hit them fat and we'll get the strike high off the face. So whether you're on the sofa or on a bar stool, put the club up in front of you and start swinging. And what I want you to do is get the club head to return back at the same height. Now, the first time you start doing this, what will happen is you might start to crash in below it. Your reaction is then to start lifting up the handle because you don't want to hit the stool, so you'll lift the handle up. Well, why not simply just push the handle down and lift the club head up? And so when you do that, now you can get the club head staying up and over the top of the stool. Now, if you can think about the stool as being the ground, when you come back to the golf ball, I want you to think about setting up to the golf ball. And now, as you come back, I want you to raise the head above the golf ball. But as you raise the head above the golf ball, I want you to push the handle to the ground. So you then start to feel how the handle is down and the club head is up. Now, I'd like to bring Sumi back in here. And I want to show you how Sumi's now looking with her impact condition. This was before, and this is after. Can you see two very different impact conditions? One, the handle path is going up and even going out to begin with. Handle is going out to begin with, and then the handle is up. Now, the difference between the handle going out and the club head going out are two very different sensations. So when we take a little look at this slow mode swing on the way down here, as I'm pulling the handle down, and you can see in slow motion, that handle is moving towards the ball line with the iron. The handle is moving towards the ball line, and now what we're seeing is the handle dropping down. As the handle drops down, it's now allowing that club head to swing over the top. but the club head is still inside that ball line. Now, depending on how much pressure I apply and how much I keep the club head out, will ultimately dictate how much angle of attack I feel down at the bottom of the golf ball. Now we get onto the driver, and I still get exactly the same sensation with the handle. Let me get the driver. When we now get the driver, and we think about this same pull moment that you can very clearly see on the screen that I'm pulling the handle forwards. Now as I start to bring the handle down and start to make the club head swing a little bit more, so handle is down and the club head is swinging a bit more, if I allow the ball to move forwards and I meet the ball with a little bit more swing, and I've lifted the head up, so handle's down, the head's up, and then that club's now swinging, and I start to meet the ball past the swing point, all of a sudden I'm allowing myself to feel the handle down and the club head swing, which allows me to then start to feel like I can get that angle of attack rising up and drawing the golf ball. So the handle has this opportunity to really steer itself around through strike. Now, it's so easy when you're hitting iron shots that you're thinking about the head striking down. And of course, if you've got that head striking down sensation, sitting back is the only way you know how to hit up on a driver. So you have a handle pushing the club head down, which all of a sudden makes you feel like you've got downstrike, and the only way you know how to hit up on it is by sitting back. And of course this now makes the face more open. By simply making the feeling that this club handle and head is being allowed to swing, so the club head is being allowed to swing. And we can see on the face on camera here that the club head is swung past the handle. But look from down the line, look how the face is now pointing left. I go down into impact, look how the face has got loft and pointing left. So this club can swing, I can keep the club head up, the club head can swing, and I can keep loft on it. Now, bearing that in mind, when we now look at the face-on image of when I'm striking through the ball here, and we see in the slow motion image of that left hand now creating that crease as the golf club swings. Can you see why I get so passionate about this garbage of left hand being bowed? It just doesn't need to be. But of course, all of the time, golfers only know of unloading the club head downwards, which is a bit like Sumi was. And then when you start to learn how you can keep the handle down, allow the golf club to swing like Sumi is now, and all of a sudden you see a difference between the impact condition. It allows you to set yourself up in posture down through strike. All of a sudden you know why the ingredient of how you use the handle and unload the club head is so important to allowing you to keep yourself in posture. Keeping yourself in posture is what we all see and what we all go out to pursue, because we see all of the best players in the world, well, not all of them, especially not Scotty Scheffler. We see everyone standing there in this beautiful postural position, which allows them to hit down, hit straight, and have a little closed face to path. But yet we've all had the desire to swing out and up to the right. I hope that there has been enough ingredients in there that whilst it may feel it's a little confusing, there's going to be layers in there that hopefully bit by bit, month on month, is going to allow us to keep growing your knowledge and keep growing your assets of what you can lean on to improve your ball striking. But handle path is a big topic. We're just brushing the surface here, and I'm going to bring you more of this content. Content and videos like this drop every Wednesday and Sunday. If you're tired of paying too much for your premium leather golf gloves, head over to gxgolfgloves.com. These are gloves trusted by tour players and elite amateurs alike. Use my code GOODCOACHING to receive 10% off your next order. Go try them out. You won't be disappointed. So if I have added value, do consider subscribing. I really want to push for 100K this year and take my channel onto a new level. Thank you so much for being with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. And that, my friends, is good coaching.